That's when I found myself in the middle of the Harlequins Worcester game, and honestly, to be there and know what I'd overcome in the past, what I'd done to get myself there, the fitness, the amount of stuff that I'd done in the background to really get myself in that position, it was all starting to pay off. And I get there in the middle, and it was amazing. It was the best feeling in the world. I think, as with everything, it's really difficult when you're first to do something, because you are the first, so nobody's trodden that path before. So it was really good to follow in the footsteps of two others, and two females that had really pushed the boundaries and really started making people ask questions. And then I sort of came along, and I started to a little bit just sort of take on that gauntlet and take that to the next level. And I found myself in a position where nobody had ever trodden that before, and nobody had been in that position where a female had been at that level. And to especially with the players as well, it was a little bit of a new thing for everyone, and we all had to get over the hurdle of, oh, what do we call you? Do we still address you as sir like we would other referees? And yeah, I took that over, and I found myself in a position where I was trying to sort of break through those glass ceilings and really, again, push forward and take on that next challenge. And yeah, there were things that got in the way. Yes, there was a question around my gender. Is it possible that you can do that? Is it possible for you to get to the next level? And we sort of got into a position where yes kept being the answer. And all of a sudden, I found myself in a position where we were knocking on the door of a Premiership game, and then my boss said to me, "It's time. We're going to go. We're going to go for it." And that's when I found myself in the middle of the Harlequins Worcester game, and honestly, to be there and know what I'd overcome in the past, what I'd done to get myself there, the fitness, the amount of stuff that I'd done in the background to really get myself in that position, it was all starting to pay off. And I get there in the middle, and it was amazing. It was the best feeling in the world. I had my family around me, and it all really made everything worthwhile. Yeah, that's a really good question. I guess I put it back to effectively dogged relentlessness and just not giving up. And male-dominated environments are really difficult. And for basically what they are is male-dominated environments. You're surrounded by a norm of men being in those positions. And as a female, when you come in and you start challenging that, it does raise some eyebrows. It does get some questions. There is some resistance to what's happening. It's about effectively not letting that stop you from doing it. You just got to keep going. And I've had some really low moments, and I've had some really high moments as well. And you get into a position where you say, that was worth it in the end. Because people looking in say, if you hadn't have done that, my child wouldn't be paying attention to rugby, and my brother or sister wouldn't want to go off and do this. And it's not necessarily about my role as a referee. That in itself is quite something that you have to be a certain type of person to want to do that. It's about the focus coming in on rugby, and rugby as a support network, and as a community, and as a sport that actually people want to get involved in the background. And without the background stuff, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. So we need people supporting that. So it's about being involved, being around that, and just absorbing the atmosphere and enjoying just being in that sport itself. I think it's about understanding what people need, and that can almost be regardless of your gender at that point. It's about understanding the human beings themselves. So take an example. If you were to treat me the same as my male counterparts, it wouldn't work, because I have different needs to what they do. So it's about actually understanding that individual themselves, and really sort of tapping into, right, what do you need? How can I make that happen for you? How can I put you in the position that your environment is stable, is what you enjoy being in, so that you can perform to the best of your abilities? And I think that in itself is really been my mantra as well, is what can I do to create an environment where I can thrive? And that's regardless then of my gender. That's just about me as a human being. I think it's really important that young athletes see other younger athletes involved, and it's really important that they have someone to admire and something to look up to as well. And I think by me putting my face out there, it's given a platform for people to understand that not only am I slightly younger when I started doing this, so there is clearly a pathway that it's there. I'm also a female that's managed to do things in a world that hasn't happened before. So I think it's really important that people have other people to be inspired by. And again, that can be regardless of gender as well. It's just about putting it out there all the time to say you don't have to be in the latter stages of your careers to achieve something. You can be younger. I started back in 2007. So I started when I was 17. So that in itself is a little bit of an unknown, because people take up refereeing probably after playing, after the latter stages, if you like, of rugby, whereas myself and a couple of other people took it up very early on. So it is there. It's about challenging that norm and starting to challenge to say, well, actually, no, this is a pathway that actually now is a career path, and has really paid dividend for myself, where I've gone around the world. I've experienced some phenomenal things that I just never would have got an opportunity to do if I hadn't taken that up.